So, welcome to another episode. And this one is starting as a sad episode. But what can we say? This is our region. We are a survival population all over the region. Was it in the Middle East or North Africa? And then God rest the souls of the people that are really in disaster from Maghreb to Libya. It's a crazy time, I think, right now of how and what is happening in the world. So, our prayers for the people who are in grief. So, let me welcome Tay quickly. Hi, Tay.
تحياتي لك رودي. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening for the people watching us from different time zones. This is episode 192, week 37. As Rudy mentioned, it is an unfortunate week. A lot of human life was lost this week. Our condolences to people of Libya and Morocco, and we were as well happy at the same time to see the crypto community standing up really fast. Binance announced more than $1 million in donations to both countries. We know of several projects that as well donated tokens to people in need in order to buy the basic supplies. This is not the first time that crypto has proven to be useful in such uh, unfortunate circumstances. Yet we are happy that it exists and it can perform its job no matter where the conditions and how the conditions are. This week, Rudy, we have quite a bunch of, I would say, not very surprising news. The expectations around the events of this week were in place, no matter how long it will take. The actions that we saw this week happened, and we're gonna talk more about it during the
Exactly.
session.
So, let's start our episode the usual way, and then we'll see you in few seconds. So it's a special week, especially with how it is going, disasters. Let's try to make the best out of it and then understand how the world of blockchain can really help countries in bringing newer or different ways of maybe they weren't available before. The power of blockchain and cryptocurrencies is really important. Now let's jump a little bit on our second woman, Mina, top 25 woman in fintech, blockchain, and AI. She innovates. We would be more than happy if you know any lady in the Middle East and North Africa, especially now with this disaster, who is really in the suffering places. They are doing amazing work, shining on the blockchain or on fintech. Get them out here so that we can really do the appreciation. Um, you can go to the websites dxtalks.com and then you can find it there. On the other news, sorry for that. On the other news, we are really uh, always preaching about crypto fraud. Always make sure your identity is safe. I think Vitalik Buterin just now he got back his identity with a fraud, which happened in SIM replication, if I'm not mistaken, or SIM hijacking. So they created another SIM card with the same IME, and they were able to transfer the traffic from his mobile to another mobile and hijack his SMS one-time password, and with that, hijack his identity. So that was a very sophisticated hack. So multi-factor authentication in the case of SMS to your mobile phone has been proven to be not sufficient. That's why I personally adopt three ways of authentication, not just the username and the password and the multi-factor authentication on SMS. I always go for an OTP, which is offline available. So something you know, something you have, and something that we will be receiving. So these three ways sometimes, especially for high-end or high-privilege transactions, these are a must for you to be able to protect yourself. With that, identity fraud is happening as we speak more and more. So be careful. For example, me and Tay are always a victim of identity theft. Was it on social media such as Instagram and other platforms? Always somebody is trying to pretend he is us and then trying to fool people for them to pay money. So let's uh, welcome our new partners, Altrasha, which is a new partner happening event in Munich, Construction Technology Conference in Riyadh, Web3 Summit Blockchain and Beyond also happening in Riyadh. And now we're started seeing more and more events happening in the kingdom. So I'm happy about being also part of this new trend of what's happening. I'll be personally participating next week with a Crypto Expo panel and a keynote discussion. So if you are available in Dubai, make sure to jump to Crypto Expo. Also, part of the Connecting Trade Worldwide CTW Global. I'll be also part of managing actually a panel on the world of technology and how it can really advance uh, the world of global trade. It will be happening in Dubai World Trade Summit. And Blockchain Expo Dubai, that is happening in Festival Arena in the same time as the events. Also, Future Cities, ICBM Expo, and Future Cities also happening again in uh, Saudi Arabia. As we can see, Saudi Arabia is really being or pushing the agenda of more digital adoption in the space. So with that, let me welcome again Tay, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Rudy. One more time, تحياتي everyone who is watching Crypto Talks. This is week 37, episode 192. Major developments happened in this week. As we said, we saw some actions that occurred. They were not surprising. We were expecting them. It was just a matter of time. Speaking about time, I want to as well break down the largest stable coins today and how their dynamics changed within the past year time. So as usual, we picked up from Glassnode this piece of information that we're gonna share with you now. So to break down the largest three stable coins today and understand their dynamics, we have USDT supplies. They have actually expanded by $13.3 billion since the current cycle lows that started in November 2022. USDC has seen an almost equal and opposite decline of 16.7 billion. So their total market cap went down by 16.7 billion, likely in part of a reflection on how US based institutions they're moving capital towards higher interest rate markets. BUSD or Binance USD has seen the dramatic decline. It took a huge hit, 89% decline with $20.4 billion. And this is mainly largely due to the uh, Paxos, which was the issuer of the stablecoin, to move into redemption only mode following the SEC enforcement. This gives us a overall understanding that there is a liquidity drought today in the crypto markets. Not only on-chain and off-chain volumes as well, they're reaching historic lows, and the sentiment that is remaining in the market today is the hodling sentiment. Although if this sentiment continues, if we continue to see hodlers, then we are looking at major bleeding of those people who are holding Bitcoin, especially for the long time holders. And we fall into the metrics that go beyond or back before 2020. This is in general regarding the on-chain data situation. Price-wise, Bitcoin made a nice rally in the past 7 days. We saw a 5% increase, trading at 26,330. We didn't see any depegging happening this week on stable coins. It seemed that we are a little bit beyond this FOMO. Toncoin is worth mentioning this week because it made nice gains. It's trading at $1.89, and this mainly due to the fact that they released their latest cohort of startups that incubated at the Ton launchpad, and we're gonna see a very important news coming from Ton community at the end of this session. So, Rudy, back to you, and we can start our news today with Vitalik. Vitalik, and as mentioned, was SIM swapped. This was a surprise, mainly for Chris as well, as he mentioned, surprising that Vitalik is using SMS for 2FA. Indeed, it is surprising because we know usually the default way to go into crypto and secure your assets is using 2FA and mainly Google Authenticator or other forms of 2FA that do not rely on your SIM card. Because if attackers came to know your first name and your last name and your approximate wealth in crypto, they are able to request a new SIM card on your name, and through this new SIM card, they're able to reset the password of your email, reset the password of your cryptocurrency exchange addresses, and hack your money. In the case of Vitalik, it is not that his money was hacked, but the attackers were able to post a link that lured people to send Ethereum to certain addresses. This was the major problem. The institution that the SIM swap happened at was T-Mobile. So Vitalik is a T-Mobile user, and his SIM swap happened at T-Mobile. The situation was fixed later, and Vitalik got access back to his Twitter account. In a not surprising action, and this is the mystery we were building up to for many of you, I think it is old news because sorry, it circulated widely in crypto, where there was talks about the arrest of the founder of Thodex cryptocurrency exchange. In the early days of Cryptotalks, we covered this story when the founder took basically the money of his clients, and he fled Turkey. It was one of the large exchanges at Turkey. The interesting point at this theft was not only the fear of losing money, but as well the fear of losing personal data of Turkish citizens into a bad actor like the founder of Thodex exchange. He was sentenced for 11,000 years in prison. Not only him, his siblings, some of his siblings as well. A lot of his team was arrested in the early days. A few of them were able to get bail, and some of them were released. Others are still under trial. 11,000 years, basically, he will never see back the the light. And we still don't know what happened to the money and whether the customers of Thodex will be able to access their money, yes or no. In this week's news as well, and part of the stability that I would say we're seeing in the Bitcoin market today, it is coming mainly from the derivatives data that is suggesting that the BTC price will hold the current range. So many people, including me, we are arguing that the Bitcoin primary drivers for 2024 are still in play. So specifically, we're talking about the spot ETF, we're talking about the Bitcoin halving happening in April 2024, and we are as well looking at the immediate risks that the current players or the large crypto market players are undertaking. They are undertaking certain steps to reduce the risks and satisfy the Securities Exchange Commission or the SEC in the United States. So, with the case of Ripple, with the case of Grayscale, all these indicators, for me and for many, I don't want to say experts, but for me and for many people, we argue that those are the primary drivers for 2024. On the other hand, we have the Binance issue, we still have the Coinbase issue, and their legal litigations in the United States. There is as well the digital currency group and Barry Silbert, how they are going to come into resolving the declared bankruptcy in January 2023 with a debt that exceeds $3.5 billion. So, with those two drivers in place, the derivatives market is looking at the levels of $25,000, perhaps a support or a market low to drive the next bull run that will come from those drivers that we mentioned. And of course, one of the important things that we saw happen this week, we didn't cover it, in fact, was the results of the G20 summit. And the results of the G20 summit were supportive for a global foundation for crypto regulation and perhaps introducing new KYC standards that are specifically enforced for crypto exchanges. This is what what the managing director of Bitget was pointing at. Bitget received $100 million liquidity or cash injection. I'm not sure whether it's an investment for a loan or any type of financial instrument, yet they are backed lately with $100 million fund, and this will help them to expand in new markets and retain new clients. In their opinion, there will be a new sort of KYC implemented for crypto exchanges. One type of KYC, perhaps, that has to be done multiple times in a year, or maybe there will be more enforced and updated biometric encryption or biometric login methods for crypto exchanges. But definitely, the Bitgate is joining the industry in mandating KYC in order for them and other exchanges to comply for all KYC requirements. And from Ton and the before the final news in our session for today, as I mentioned in the beginning, Ton was one of the coins that made a decent return in this current market condition. Telegram saw a new feature where people are able to have self-custodial wallets in the Telegram app. It has nothing to do directly with Telegram, the company, but it is a continuation of a project that Telegram had to unfortunately stop because it was getting irritations from the SEC regarding the position of a token they launched called the Open Network or TON. And Ton at that time was launched to be the token of Telegram network, where Telegram users are able to use this token in financial transactions. Unfortunately, this bothered the SEC and bothered the US regulators, and there was a threat on Telegram, so they had to stop their ambitions. The community went on with the token, and today Telegram and Ton Foundation, they jointly announced a new self-custodial wallet called Ton Space, and this was launched at Singapore's Token 2049 crypto conference. This is not a wallet built by Telegram, but the joint the joint announcement with Telegram is important here, because Telegram has had a complicated relation regarding its relationship with tokens and blockchains. This feature will not be rolled out for US markets. It will be rolled out for the worldwide, except the United States. Finally, and one of the actions that I was personally waiting to see it happen was the arrest of the OneCoin co-founder and his sentence to 20 years in prison, and he was fined with $300 million. OneCoin co-founder Carl Sebastian Greenwood co-founded OneCoin in 2014 with a personality we know today as Crypto Queen, or Ruja Ignatova, and she was a major player in the fraud scene in crypto, where they were able to defraud customers or defraud investors with billions of dollars. It is not really yet known what is the exact number of billions that they defrauded, but estimations say it is around $10 billion that they were able to defraud from investors on a global scale. The co-founder of OneCoin was arrested, and he will be sentenced for 20 years in jail. So between Thodex 11,000 years and OneCoin 20 years, we see the huge difference in how regulation and compliance, even legal matters, can play a pivotal role in someone's life when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Not to forget, of course, Simon's litigation in Belgium, still going on until today. And with this, I would like to thank you for joining our session 192. Back to you, Rudy.
Thank you, Tay. Not your keys, not your coins, not your wallet.
Always, always, always.
Yes, indeed. Let's see what happens in the few days that will pass. There's a lot of information, crazy information happening
True.
in the field. We're happy to see some of those bad actors are in custody or behind bars.
Absolutely, absolutely, Rudy. Look, now we have SBF realistically behind bars. We have Do Kwon realistically behind bars. We have Thodex founder. We have OneCoin. So the swamp is being cleaned and cleared as we go day by day. And this action only points to the fact that if you do bad behavior in the crypto space, you will be caught, you will be arrested, and you can take 11,000 years of jail time.
Yeah, 11,000 is is a number. It's not just. Don't
No, we
forget,
thought that we thought that the last Bitcoin to be mined in 2140 is a long year to go through. But imagine this guy has to spend 11,000 years of his life in prison. Unbelievable.
indeed. We just shared in the description and in the chat the link to join our community. Don't forget to subscribe and share. If you have any questions to Tay or myself, we'll be more than happy to respond. Always be careful. Always do your part, and let's see what happens. Thank you. I think it was Chris for mentioning the Vitalik part. This is a sad truth. I saw him today in, I think he's in not Shanghai. Um,
Oh,
anyway,
Singapore?
Singapore, I think, yeah. And I
Yeah,
saw him and I said to myself, we're trusting this guy with all of our keys. I don't
yeah,
know, all of our wallets, everything.
yeah.
So I really don't know. uh, Keep it up. Thank you, Lara. Uh,
Hayati Lara, good afternoon.
10,000 years. It's actually 11,000 years, as you mentioned, Tay.
Yeah, and
Lara,
his siblings. And the important thing, Rudy, is and his siblings. So they put his family as well in prison with him, teammates, employees, and he's in a Turkish prison, not in a Dutch
oh,
prison.
that
So
makes sense.
yeah, it is really surprising the number of years that he took, but we are happy that he got arrested. One more thing, Rudy, I think it's worth to mention the CPI index, Consumer Price Index, came out today. As we were doing the session, the CPI was coming out. The index came according to expectations at a, let me take the level quickly. So the previous US CPI in August was 3.2, the actual is 3.7. The forecast was for it to rise to 3.6, so year to year. So now we have year to year 3.7. Interest rates, this is important, is still going up in the United States. So what does this mean? That capital will favor a higher interest rate environment than to stay in crypto. And that's why we might see a further drop in the crypto prices. This is a sentiment we're feeling a lot in the crypto community, that many are expecting a drop, especially low liquidity, um, high interest rates, and a good performance of the US dollar is usually against the appetite of Bitcoin, and hence prices will drop. Again, this is what the sentiment, the feelings, the theories that are going around. Only time will tell.
Thank you, Tay. I just shared the rate. Uh,
Yes, Chris as
Instagram.
well had a interesting point, Rudy. Alexander Mashinsky from Celsius was also charged in the United States. It's very
So
important
technically,
character,
all
very
of
important
those.
story. Yeah, there is still one name not to be mentioned. Otherwise, people start shooting at us. But there are a lot of as well Binance haters that want to see CZ go to jail. No, um, I think the bad actors today are behind bars, and I'm really looking forward for 2024 because of all the drivers that we mentioned, specifically the ETF. There is a huge possibility it get approved uh, next year, and this can trigger the capital to liquidity to flow in the crypto markets, and then we'll get out of this boring stage we are in.
So don't forget, she innovates the Dxtalks top 25. And you have the link in the chat, and then join us to nominate those leading women. Thank you, Tay. Thank you for all the people that joined. Thank you, I think, John. Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Bob. Uh, Thank you all for joining. If you still have any other um, information or anything to join to ask, here we go. Don't forget to follow. This is okay. This side. Tay at Telegram at Floos. It's Floos, FLWS. Be careful of how you write it. Don't copy and paste it from somewhere. Write it yourself. So, with that, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And see you next week.